All right, we're back, boys and girls. Welcome in, Trevor May Baseball people. How's everybody doing? Hello, 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 hi, hello, hello, hi, hello. How's everyone doing? It's your World Series champs, Philadelphia Phillies. If you missed it, don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. If you missed it, you can go back and watch the VOD over on Foul Territory at the beginning there, or you can just watch on Twitch. You're here the whole time. How's everybody doing? All right, guys. We have more predictions for you. I just predicted everything that I could possibly think of, and I have more stuff to predict. I have something called 10 bold predictions. That is this week's Going Deep. Yeah, that really happened. This is Going Deep. All right, let's get some bold predictions up in this B. My goal was to kind of just pick 10 categories and just randomly, just like tell you what my hot take was on them, because there's a lot of stuff to think about going into this. I'm always one of those people too that always notice like weird little statistics. Like one of my favorite stats about myself was how much better I was on back-to-back days on the second day. Like finding little things like that to kind of tell the story of the game has always been a passion of mine. So I love this time of year because I got to do these things, even if the chances of these things happening are low. But I want your take on them. So I got 10 bold predictions going into the 2025 season, starting with no team in the AL wins more than 92 games this year. There is no one who wins over 92 games, while the LA Dodgers win 106. I think the AL is going to be an absolute bloodbath. In the chat, Squizza really wants the Twins to win 92. And you know what? Hey, that's the type of being wrong that I would love to be. Okay, but in my opinion, there is no AL team that will run away with the league, because it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of beating up on people. A guy who overperforms, an overperformer of the year. This is my overperformer of the year. A guy who I think is going to overperform the amount of money he's being paid. Tommy Pham. I think Tommy Pham is going to be extremely valuable to the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is no nonsense. He has hit for like 3 or 4 of the last 4 years, like been a really good hitter. I think it was a huge pickup. He was just absolutely like a steal in terms of money, him and McCutchen. I think Tommy Pham is going to add more value to his team than he is being paid at the moment. Unfortunately, there's the flip side of this. Underperformer, Willie Adames. Okay? I'm just going to say that the type of money he's being paid by the San Francisco Giants, though I do believe he's a great defensive player and a pretty good hitter, he has always been in the realm of like between good and very good to me, like a good player, like a pretty good player, right? But never like a stud, never like the best player on his team. And I think that they're going to need some things out of him with his bat that part he's not going to be able to produce right away. That's what I think. Because he was paid a lot of money, but he's a shortstop. So I hope I'm wrong. But I guess what? I hope I'm wrong about everybody for this. I don't ever want to predict. Why did I predict someone underperforming? That's not me. It's bad juju, actually, I think. Yeah. Stolen base leader. The guy who's going to lead this league in stolen bases, Ellie De La Cruz, is going to do it again. He's going to steal 80 bags because there's going to be a lot of guys running. We got a lot of young bucks on the way. A lot of young dudes from the minor leagues last year stealing bases left, right, and center. It's just another year of the pitch clock being in, another year of the two pickoff rule being in. Guys are going to run, right? But who's going to lead the league in caught stealing? Well, that's Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie's also going to get caught the most because he's going to run more than everybody else. It's kind of like Ricky Anderson, right? Ricky stole 100. He also got caught 30 times. Or no, he got Ricky would steal like 100 and get caught like 20 and lead the league by like 10 in caught stealing because most people don't even run 20 times. So I think he's going to lead in caught stealing and in stolen bases. I think that you'd be willing to trade one for the other, no problem. The team that puts up the longest win streak this year, the Cleveland Guardians. And the reason I say that, it's going to be a 10-game win streak. The reason I say that is because they literally do it every year. They're the type of scrappy team that finds a way to sweep series. Though, last year the Twins did it. It's always like an AL Central team. But I think the Cleveland Guardians are going to win 10 straight. That's going to be the long ones. How's it a bold prediction? You're right. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Your non-closing reliever of the year. The guy who I think is going to have the best year who does not close games, Jeremiah Estrada. For the San Diego Padres, this guy is disgusting. And he's quietly been a really good seventh inning guy for 2 years. I think this is going to be my reliever of the year. He's going to be my overall reliever of the year, Jeremiah Estrada. We're going to do a breakdown of him next week. I didn't have time to get it prepared because I was making all these assets all day. But that's my non-closer. And then your World Series MVP, because I didn't include it in the last segment. When the Phillies win it, Brandon Marsh is going to be your World Series MVP. Why? Because he's not Bryce Harper. He's not the guy you would think of. He's your Tommy Edman. Right? It's always that. It's always the Tommy Edmans of the world. Do you think? Bro, I thought you were a Met. The Phillies? What, am I supposed to just pick the Mets in the World Series? What do you mean? I was drafted by the Phillies, though. I don't know if you knew that. In the year they won their last World Series. So I'm trying to be objective here, man. I can't be biased. What do you mean? Diehard loyalty. How is that fun to watch? Why would I do a show and everything I do is the same thing every time? That's boring. Twins taking it all? I hope they do, man. I hope they do. All right, last two bold predictions from me, guys. 10 plus pitchers will throw more than 200 innings this year. Last year there were 4. This year there will be 10 or more 200 inning pitchers. Yeah, I'm right. Tell me. I need to hear how much I'm right. The reason I think this, I do have some. I'm feeling a trend from conversations I'm having with pitchers and how their goals are changing from year to year. I believe that even on the analytics side, the idea that starting pitchers getting a couple more outs a game is more beneficial than it is not, even with the third time around the order kind of, handicap, right? Like we try to avoid that. I think that the starting pitchers that can throw on average 5 2/3 instead of 5 do things for your bullpen. Your bullpen gets a lot better and your team tends to win more games. The more innings you get out of your starting pitching, the better your team is overall over a long period of time. Teams are leaning more heavily into that. I think that a lot of pitchers are saying that they want to throw more innings, and that's becoming a bigger goal for them. So I think that we get more of that and we get more health. Hopefully, I'm being hopeful. I really want guys to stay healthy. And then my last bold prediction, your RBI leader in the major leagues will be Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso will lead the major leagues in RBIs this year. I didn't say homers, but runs batted in. Pete Alonso's your RBI leader. The guy, he's pretty good at hitting guys in, and with Soto in front of him, I think that's going to add even more thump and opportunity for him to get guys across the plate. My man, Pete Alonso, your RBI leader And that was Going Deep. Those are my 10 bold predictions for the 2025 season. So that brings us to everyone's favorite part of the show. It's time for some. I'll just let tell you.
Nastiest pitches of the week.
We got some more nasty pitches for you. Look how little I am on the screen right now. I know you can't see me, but this week's nasty pitches are our final top 10 countdown of the spring. And we're going to get real-time data on some pitch movement. We're going to add some stuff to this, so I'm really excited about it in the future. But this is your top 10 pitches from this last week, the final week of spring training.
10.
Dylan Cease, you may know him. He's got a slider on the top of all those other pitches he throws, and it's a pretty dang good one. Let's see what he's got. Dylan Cease coming in. Buckled. Nice little depth against Espinal there on the Reds. Nice little pitch, but that's good enough for 10th, but not good enough for 1. Let's see what we did at number 9.
9.
Bailey Falter, cutter in. Oh, Spencer Torkelson almost lost a kneecap there. Let's see that one more time out of Bailey Falter. Unfortunately, I think Bubba Chandler's going to take his job, but not now. Cutter down and in. Just a thing of beauty. That's exactly where you wanted his left-handed pitcher to a righty. Work that inside of the plate, Bailey Falter. Chef's kiss.
8.
We got Spencer Strider. He's back, and he's still got his slider. Let's see it. Oh, actually, that's a curveball. That's not even a slider. It's a curveball. Good depth on that thing. He's feeling good. We heard that earlier in the show. Let's see it again. Nice little down and in. Exactly you want to see. Hit a lefty with it, too. Walk off. He's feeling good. Spencer Strider big for the Braves moving forward.
7.
Ryan Pepio. That's a hard right turn changeup. Let's see it again. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Okay, we got to just watch these ones. Put this on a loop. Look at this thing. That's what we call a steam shifted Ryan Pepio. Now the opening day starter for your Tampa Bay Rays with Shane McClanahan going down with a nerve issue. He's filthy. He's got a chance to have a pretty special year too. And as they always do in Tampa, they just keep getting aces. So don't be surprised if he's just disgusting.
6.
Jack Flaherty, Detroit Tigers. He's got a curveball. Don't believe me? Oh, dude, that one, it hurt my back. That one hurt my back to watch, bro. One more time. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's the kind of swing you want. Just like I got no chance. Like you're like, oh, just hit him with one of those.
5.
At 5, the sheriff, Andrew Chafin, busting out the old slide piece to the back foot. Let's see it. To a knee. Dropping him to a knee. Pretty nice to see. Pretty good pitch. And always love to see the old handlebar mustache in play. Let's see what we got for number 4.
4.
No, the sheriff is not Chris Paddock. I know he said that, but Andrew Chafin was in the major leagues before, so he wins. All right, who wanted Schwellenbach because he got him? Here, we got a Schwelly slide piece. Let's see what we got from Schwelly right here. Pretty sure it's a down and into. Oh, Trent Grisham, nothing. No batting gloves, no problem. Mustache. I don't know if they told him, but you can have a beard now, Mr. Grisham. Get to work on that thing, all right?
Okay, cool. 3.
Coming in at third, friend and ex-teammate and ex-Minnesota Twin, Caleb Thielbar with a curveball from hell. Oh, yeah, Max Muncy. Max Muncy knows what a strike is. He knew that one was, and there was just nothing he was going to do about it. Let's see it again out of Caleb Thielbar. Love this dude. Love this pitch. Good luck. We'll see you. It be funky, but it be working.
Okay, cool. 2.
Coming in at 2, we have lesser known Mets starting pitcher, Paul Blackburn. Now, this guy's got curveballs. This is actually a sweeper, but this thing is filthy. See what you got. That's just a thing of beauty. Paul has a really good breaking ball. He's got 2 really good breaking balls, and he throws them a lot. I think he's going to be a dark horse for them too. But sometimes you just need some high quality H2 pitching, you know? All right, in your top spot, it's a pitch that has its own nickname. It's the Airbender.
Okay, cool. 1.
Can we see it? Yes, you can. There's 2 of them here. Yay. Yep. Good try. Good try again. One more time. Let's see those 2 Airbenders again. Dan Williams. We'll see it. Go sit down, please. Thank you. What else is new? What do you say? Oh, you can't hit that. All right. See ya. Bye-bye. And those were your nastiest pitches of the week, guys. Remember, if you want to include one of your own nastiest pitches in the show, or you want it to be voted for, or whatever, go into the Discord, put it in nastiest pitches of the week, or email it to me. Email me a link, please, to download it. That'd be very helpful. To pitches@maydayshow.com. That is pitches@maydayshow.com. Also, you like my mug? Hold on. I actually got to give you a better view of this. Hello? Why am I not in focus? Hello? Hello? What? Okay. All right. Well, it says something. Fudge brownies. 0-time All-Star. We all are, aren't we? So am I. That's mayday.shop, guys, if you're interested. Want to pick one of these mugs up? Mayday.shop on the interwebs. Those are your nastiest pitches. And I'm Trevor May. All right. We have some more fun planned for the show, though I do want to kind of take a second to catch my breath. Ooh. The hell? I'm Velcroed to my seat. That was weird. I hope you're all doing well. Guys, if you're new to the show or haven't come through very often, remember, I do answer questions. If you have questions you want answered in the chat, dude, there's waters everywhere. Just ask them. My producer, David, will grab those questions, put them in a queue, and then we will get to them at our segment at the end of the show. But we have some interesting, fun little things to talk about for the rest of the show. We are entering into Isn't That Interesting? Isn't that interesting? Sometimes it is. I got to get a stinger made for this one. But this was passed on to me from our producer, David, as well. Comedian Tom Segura tells a story about what he's heard Dominican players are like in the clubhouse, namely the shower. So I'm going to play this video. I believe it might be a TikTok or a reel or something, but I'm going to play this video and then we will discuss it. All right. So we're going to get this up there for you.
See what can be discerned
That's not
from
what
this.
I've told this before, but I've met some.
See what can be.
I've told this before, but I've met some Major League Baseball.
These all always need to be resized too. Dave, we're going to talk about this soon, that we need to change this. All right, this is Tom Segura, if you don't know. And this is what he said.
12 players. They were like, oh, you know that throughout MLB on all teams, Dominicans shower separately? And I was like, what?
Interesting.
And I was like, no. And they're like, oh yeah, because they're wild. And they'll do shit like they're not gay, but they'll come
It's
up
a
and
free
like
culture.
they're like they'll just slap their against like each other, and then we're like, nah. So it's like Dominicans, they do their own thing, and then the rest of the guys, they're like, I go, that feels like segregation. They're like, well, it kind of is. They're doing their fucking wild shit because they're so sexually free.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and I've had
That's interesting.
the first guy that told me,
multiple people.
and then I told the other guy, and he was
they're
like,
like, oh, yeah?
100%.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It's pretty interesting, yeah. And then you go to the Dominican Republic, and you're like, I get it. Yeah.
Checks out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, thoughts? First of all, someone said, imagine filming in 916. They're not. That is edited that way, guys. As someone who films on normal cameras and then puts it into vertical, they're not filming. They're not filming in 916. Though, one interesting thing, and now hold on, I want to go here. Turn this off for a second. So let me break this down. How do I communicate this? Yes and no. So like, if he were telling me that, I'd be like, they don't shower separately. Like, and it's not just Dominican players either, Latin players generally. But there is a comfortability that people from Latin America have immediately from playing pro ball that a lot of American guys don't have, especially if they're coming from college. Now I'm going to speak from experience here. Okay. When I was drafted, there was a bunch of guys with me too. A lot of guys went to high schools and stuff that like they didn't shower at like they didn't have showers at the high school, or they did like it just wasn't part of like locker room culture. Well, it didn't include showering at school. Like I didn't even do PE. I had played in every sport, so like I didn't need to, right? So I didn't shower. I showered very rarely at school, and our showers were awful too. They barely worked. So I go and I lived 2 minutes away. So I just like. You could see the school from my house. So I would shower at home. So I wasn't used to just showering with random strangers, people that I just met. So it took me a bit to get used to it. But there were some other guys who were like really worried about it. Young guys, like 18-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids. And they usually get over it because the Latin guys get them to get over it. So there was one day, and this was, I want to be very clear here. They would always say, water's free, guys. Water's free. Why don't you just shower? And most people would just wait till everyone left and go shower by themselves because it was more comfortable. But eventually you have to get over that. And one day I had a teammate that was carried by 4 people, one guy on each arm, one guy on each leg. And like, he wasn't naked. He was in his shorts still, but they like dragged him in and then they put him in the shower and they said, hey, you have 2 options. You're going to hang out and shower in here with us, or we're going to shower you. And he's like, okay. And then the older guy who like prompted it, there was a guy who was like 28, who was like kind of a player coach. It was like, all right, it was kind of a joke. And he's like, all right, everyone else get out. It's just going to be me and him. And he like got him comfortable with it. But I'll never forget, I saw it happen. I was like, okay, I'm showering. Like I do not want that. And it got everyone who was worried about it to just shower. And it was just, it's a thing that I had completely forgot about in my own life that had ever happened until I saw that video. I'm like, oh yeah, that is true. It's a little bit of a shock at first, just how comfortable everyone is when you're not like, you've never been in that situation. When I played baseball, we came dressed and we left dressed, right? In travel ball and stuff. Most people do that. So, and it's, these guys go to their academies, they play baseball with big groups of people from like the 14, 15. So they're used to it. But then you get to the big leagues, and yeah, it's very much like, they want to have a conversation. They want to talk about the game. 6, 7, 8 guys, like kind of just speaking in Spanish to each other, and you're like, all right, and it's all echoey. You're like, okay, all right, I'm tired. I just want to go sit in my locker. But yeah, it could be a lot. It can be a lot. Tom's right. Now I'm just interested in what baseball players did he talk to, so that I can imagine what type of stories they told him. That's what I want to know. But I just thought that was funny. We got a super chat from the Last Dive Bar. What? Last Dive Bar? I know them. Let's see what they said. Can we get an RFJF one time? RFJF. Am I supposed to? No? Oh, we have a confirm this thing slapping. Oh, F. John Fisher. Oh, was there not an R in there? It was really small. F. John Fisher. F. Fuck John Fisher, bruh. Fuck that guy. Fuck both the Johns. But confirming or denying the D slapping. There's no time. Like, it's weird. Nothing stands out in my head, like in any like really crazy weird part. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. It probably has happened, probably. But I will say they're a little less shy to like slap you on the back or like touch your hair when you're like kind of doing your hair. And like, you know, water's running down your face, and then suddenly you feel another hand on your head, like that kind of stuff. She's like, dude, and they're like, and they leave. Like that's mostly what it is. But yeah, that stuff happens. It can get weird. It gets weird sometimes. It does, guys. It's bro stuff. It gets weird. I cannot confirm that de-slapping did not happen. Yes, let's put it there. Okay, moving on to another subject real quick. Let's hit our crazy fact of the week presented by Assistant Henry. Henry came up with this one. Oh no. Dang it. So I just remembered that Henry had to call out, or no, wouldn't call out. He's on a trip right now, so he wasn't in today. And this was a video, and we didn't get the video because that's usually his job. So dang it, I was supposed to do this today. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to save that crazy fact for the week for next week. To answer this question for the 10,000th time, Trevor Bauer ever coming back to the MLB? No, he's not. It's over. He's not. It's been 3 years. It's over. So he's got a very, very successful YouTube channel. Yeah, it's just not, they're just not going to deal with it probably. There's a very low chance. No, there's not even a low chance. It's definitely not happening. Is that where Beltre's head thing came from? I actually do not know. I do not know. All right, any spring training roster crunches you are monitoring? Okay, do we have any, Dave, do we have any questions here in the chat? Let me check the queue here because I got to scroll up to see them. We got a few. Actually, Dave, you just want to throw them up? You throw them up and I can see them? Then we can go from there. I'm going to actually put this over here too. Yeah, so I can see them a little bit better. But yeah, just throw questions up on the chat as they come. If you're saving questions for Trevor, what are your thoughts on implementing a loan system like FIFA has? A loan system? I don't even know. I don't even know about the loan system. That's interesting, but I'm genuinely, it's pretty rare that something like that comes up that I've never heard of. I didn't know they did that. So is this like other teams participate in this? Like who does the loans? Players on contract can be loaned to other teams. Oh. But isn't that only for cross league and friendly stuff? Yeah, it's usually other leagues. That's the thing. There are no other leagues. We have a monopoly exemption. Baseball does. So they actually have a monopoly. They're allowed to have a monopoly. So it'd be interesting if we did it for Japan, or Japan lent us some guys. Sometimes it could be in the same league. Oh, it's basically we have this young guy but don't have playing time for him. We'll send him some other team for so that's interesting to me. I think that the injury problem in the major leagues is just, it would not allow that to happen. I think the problem, especially like pitchers, right? What if they go and they get Tommy John, right? Or what if they go and get hurt right at the end of the year and they get Tommy John, and then the other team doesn't have him for a year, like, and they end up paying him. Like that gets really muddy really quickly. I don't feel like soccer has like the equivalent of Tommy John. Yeah, it's pretty much just the minors at that point. But that's interesting. That is really interesting. That's a great question. But yeah, I doubt the teams would go for this. Though the reason the FIFA does it is because, I mean, at the end of the day, it could pay dividends. But again, if the guy's playing against you, you don't. We're too selfish. Would you do YouTube videos similar to Kyrie and Uncle Drew or Kutch and Uncle Larry, where I go and pitch? Yeah, I would do that. Except I look old, so I don't even have to dress up. 100%, I do that. 100%. I get in shape again. Though basketball is something you can kind of pick up again, and baseball is a little harder to do. But yeah, they have ACL injuries. Yeah, I guess. But how common are they in soccer? Like basically every pitcher, if he plays for 10 years in the major league, he's going to get Tommy John at some point, probably. And yes, I did get Tommy John. Yeah, I did. So that is a phenomenal question. I don't know how that would work. I don't know. I do not know. All right, Dave, keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. The existence of the minor leagues, yeah. I mean, and they got control, and then they don't have to pay them too. Yeah. Yeah, no way. Do you stay in contact with any players? Yeah, a little bit. Me and Trevor Williams go back and forth about books a lot. I had Hogan Harris FaceTime me the other day. I would say not as much as other guys, but I do. I definitely do stay in contact. I've been doing this podcasting thing too, which has been a lot of fun. That has allowed me to do it. Kendall Graveman texted me randomly the other day. Like, yeah, a lot of guys reach out to me. Baseball players reading books. My God, a couple people. Yeah, there's not a lot. Outside of Atomic Habits, there's not a lot, dude. Is it possible for a curveball and a sweeper to sort of blend into each other? 100%. How do you keep them separate? Mostly there are different grips and you think different things when you're doing them. But it just comes down to depth. Like if you can't keep your sweeper from having a lot of depth, it's a curveball. So like basically what I'm saying is if you throw a curveball really good curveball, you tend to not be able to throw a sweeper really good. But they are very different grips. You try to keep them as separately as possible. You try to make one tumbly and one sideways. And you're trying to like the way you like literally how it comes off your finger is completely different. The reason they meld together is because you throw a lot of breaking balls. It doesn't happen that often, but. Do you think if Trevor Bauer wins the Japanese Cy Young, the team will sign him? I don't think it has anything to do with Trevor May. Guys, the Trevor Bauer thing has nothing to do with performance. We got to stop this. It has nothing to do with how he's pitching. He's good enough to play in the major leagues. That's not the problem. Okay? He's not in the major leagues because he's not good enough. That is not why this is the way it is. Shaylar asks, how are the kids? The kids are great. The cats are great. And Mads is great. Everyone's doing really, really well. Everyone's doing really, really well. Everyone's happy. Everyone's healthy. I love it. Ooh, I'm going to do this one from Dom, Dave. How do I feel about the Mets bullpen right now? Very good question. I think there's actually a lot more depth than people would assume. I like Jose Butto out there. I think he is a multi-inning possibility guy. I like the re-signing of Ryan Stanek. He's a solid option earlier I think he's going to be better in the 6th, 7th inning, but he's a good option to have. Hard thrower. Deadneil Nunez I'm a big fan of his. I think he could be a stud with the punch and tickets. I like AJ Minter. He's been very solid in that 8th inning role. And, Edwin Edwin's getting his velo back a little bit, and he is a proven closer that knows how to get into that role and get rolling a little bit. So I'm feeling good about it. Maybe it's not maybe the most automatic as other bullpens, but there's a lot of options there and a lot of quality arms. So I think there's even some people we're not thinking about that will play a big role. Was there any pitchers you wanted to be able to throw? Oh, where did that go? Was there any pitches you wanted to be able to throw, but never were able to do? The splitter. I wish I could throw the splitter more, but I hurt myself throwing it. Honestly, the kick change would have been cool to learn, but no. Mostly, I threw all the pitches I wanted to throw. Same question about the Red Sox bullpen. Again, lots of options for different roles. It's just going to see how those roles settle, right? Like, I think Liam Hendricks is going to be valuable at a point, and Aroldis Chapman is going to be valuable. Do I think anyone's just going to be like, you're the closer, you're the setup guy? No, I don't. But I think that if it settles in and the team's playing well and scoring a good amount of runs, hitting the ball around, the starting pitcher's pretty solid, then the bullpen will follow. They have guys who've done it. But I think if they immediately need to lean on the bullpen a shit ton, then that's going to derail it and maybe make it not as good. So, but again, they just the Red Sox went from like not having a bunch of depth to having a ton of depth. Have you ever thought about being a color guy on a broadcast? I actually do. I am an analyst for Sunday Night Baseball's StatCast broadcast, so I'm going to do 6 games this year. For a regular team, though, no. Would you pitch for the Savannah Bananas? Sure. Do I want to get in shape again? Not really. Who would win a game of football? The San Francisco Giants or New York Giants? That was good. Producer David, please grab this question. Will you come out of retirement to help the Twins win the World Series? I did my best for the 7 years I was there, and I wasn't able to even be the Yankees once. So, yeah, I'll just say it this way. If I come out of retirement, that's not going to make that team better. It's going to make it worse. Have I baked anything delicious recently? Donuts. I made a bunch of chocolate hazelnut glazed donuts, and they were real good. Who frequently drove the coolest cars in the? Okay. Who do you think? Do you think there are any teams that are going to make a big trade before the season starts, or no? There's not a lot of rumblings right now. I actually asked Jeff Passan this yesterday, and everyone feels pretty. It's going to be a lot of like little stuff. And there will probably be a couple things still happening, but probably low chance of there being anything huge. Huge. I still like a Sandy Alcantara. That's going to be later this year. I think that most teams are feeling like they can go into a season with what they have right now. So, do you take the over or under on White Sox win total of 53? Under. I said they're going to be 52 and 110. And Passan said, I don't think so. I don't think so. So I'm going to go with him because he knows. What is your velo right now? No idea. Oh, I can't pretend I have anything more important to do, but counting it's fun, less not getting our movie to watch party at 10,000. Scoop me one up. We got to. We hit it, didn't we? I'm going to schedule it. We're going to do it this summer, all right? We are doing it this summer. We're going to watch I don't know what we're going to watch. We're going to watch a baseball movie or something. All right. Okay. Guys, keep the questions coming. We got them in there. I do have an exercise that I want us to do, but I'm having some second thoughts. Dave, and I think that I have a good idea here because I think preparation is going to be part of this. So maybe I pose this question for the Discord, okay? I'm going to add this into Discord. So this is something that I want to do next week. All right? Because I want to give this some thought, and I actually want to get your guys' feedback. So we're going to do it in like a forum post and then Discord. Pay attention. So if you're not familiar with, I don't know if you got anyone. I know these are usually political shows, so let me just be. I'm talking about show format here. So please try to ignore the content of the show. But like Last Week Tonight and Daily Show, the way they're formatted, I don't know if you noticed, but I have a lot of like inspiration from them. One thing that they do on Last Week Tonight is they have kind of I don't know. They do something. They do an activist thing. They do a thing that is like out in the world where they challenge someone to do something, and then they have it be part of the show. And David and I were talking about it, and he had a great idea that maybe we, as a community, we send an email to owner of the Colorado Rockies, Dick Monfort, because he is notorious for replying to emails. And I thought it would be really interesting if we could ask him, hey, we saw there was an article recently in the Denver Chronicle, I believe it is, about the salary cap. And Bob, why do you believe that the salary cap is the best thing for baseball? Why is that something that you think will make the game better? And what do you think might be some of the downsides? Like, I kind of want to do something like that, but I want to get your guys' feedback on what we should send them, because I want to do this as a community. I don't just want it to be from me. But so next week we can write it out and send it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I realized that I didn't pose a question in the Discord. There's a lot of things that I want to do here on this show and I'm still getting, I need a lot of help. Like I spent, for example, 6 freaking hours today. Like right now, my brain is pounding because I spent 6 hours making the 500 assets I just used for the rest of this show. So I think that's something that we're gonna get going next week. I think it's gonna be great. Why does that feel like when the elementary school class wrote letters to the president? That's exactly what it is. Yes. Yes. We're going to send letters to the president because I want to know. Maybe there's an open dialogue. Maybe, like, guys, how else can we talk to an owner? I sit here and I rail against owners all the time. It'd be nice to actually be able to talk to one. All right. Ooh, Odyssey, this is a good question. I want to hit on this one real quick. Good question from Odyssey here. I saw Adam Wainwright talking about how he doesn't like catchers dropping their gloves before delivering the pitch. So just so you guys know, guys will give you the target. Then as you are like going through your motion, they'll like tap the ground. Like a guy who does this is Mitch Carver. He'd go here and then he'd go boom, up. So like basically it's a trigger for the guy to think up on the ball because they want to grab bottom of the zone strikes instead of going down. So what we call guys that like drop their glove, dunk city. You don't want that. It looks terrible. Umpires call balls every time. And that's a good way to not hit the ball in the zone. The best way to do it is to make it look like you're coming up with the ball. So guys will tap the ground to get themselves to do that. Adam Wainwright wanted the target to be solid, and he wanted you to wait until like the ball was at least delivered because it bothered him. But that's just a him thing. Now, I think it's completely valid. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But it didn't bother me. Because I wasn't like tunnel visioned on the glove in a way that it moving would bother me. I was more of I would lock myself into a plane of focus kind of where I could kind of keep track of the hitter and kind of things, but I wasn't like so zoomed in on only the glove that I can't focus on anything else. But that's how he pitched. So I just think it's like if the guy, I wouldn't make a guy fix it because of me, but maybe, when you're starting pitcher, you're throwing a lot more pitches, you have them for a lot more, and you're Van Wainwright, you can ask him to stop. So I don't think long term it's a big deal. No. What's your thought on the state of the San Francisco Giants franchise? Buster Posey, thumbs up. 2008 draft. Shout out. I think they're on the up and up, but I think it's just about going and getting the job done at this point. They have good enough players, man. They have good talent. They just need to get the job done. Would I ever have an owner on Cut on the Diamond? 100%. I'll have any owner, and I would love to just have an open and honest conversation. I want to have my mind changed. I hate actually only having my perspective. I really do. I don't like the secrecy, right? I don't like being told, like, from owners that they don't have the money and then be like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, what's going on? Like, how much money do you have? Like, you don't need to know that. And I'm just like, then I don't trust you. Like, because this isn't a conversation we're having. I'm just listening to you complain, right? And I don't like to just complain without information. So, yes, that would be awesome. I would love to do it. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. If you could pitch to any catcher, past or present, Yachty. That's a good question, Yachty, or Agathor, Yachty, 100%. So, yeah, every pitcher's different, Jamin. Every pitcher's different, and it's, it's completely up to you. It comes down to kind of what kind of rapport you have with your catcher you're looking toward. Are there any coaches or managers that you would have liked to have learned from? Oh, tons. It would have been sweet to it would have been cool to have Terry Francona as manager. It would have been cool to play for a ton of guys like that are notorious. Brett Strom would have been cool to have a pitching coach because he's one of the legends. Like, I don't know. I was always down to meet as many and interact with as many different people as possible. So, but yeah, I think that would have been pretty awesome. Should they add a salary cap in baseball? No. They can, but a lot of things need to change for that to happen. Pie in the sky guest, Magic Johnson. Get the backstory and the ownership viewpoint. Interesting. I also want to talk to people in the front offices that are now coaches. It would be great to talk to Greg Breslow. I could probably get him to come on. Maybe. I think Brez is a lot of fun. And I wouldn't even ask him about like moves and just, I just want like, I want to know, and I think that you guys might agree with this. I just want to know like, what are the challenges, the human challenges to doing these jobs in this game? Because I can sit here from a player's perspective and rail against owners and rail against like front offices. Like I like one of my favorite punching bags is Jerry DiPoto, right? I don't know Jerry. I just know about the very limited interactions that myself and my team has had with him in order to get on the Mariners, and that didn't leave a very good taste in my mouth. And I've heard some other anecdotal stuff from other players that didn't like him very much. But that doesn't mean he's a bad person, right? I don't know that. I would love to have those conversations. I would love to sit and listen to someone tell me their perspective and the way the things that they're saying in the media in order to explain the reasoning behind their decisions and be convinced. That'd be awesome. It would be nice because then I don't have to be angry all the time. But unfortunately, I don't think so. Fortunately, I it's not going to be as easy because there's sometimes these things are done for spin and they would rather just like talk to people. They're going to let them spin it, and I won't let them spin it. But like here's a prime example, guys. Like with the Jackie Robinson thing, we talked at the top of the show. We talked about Jackie Robinson stuff being removed from the DOD website, whatever. It's a DEI crap, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. DEI, it's the worst thing ever. Anyway, the MLB quietly removed the word diversity off the website, and then like kind of just like moved. They had a program where people could apply for jobs and like get into this like training program if they wanted to, and that's not there anymore. And the quote, when asked why that's not there, the quote was, "Oh, our values haven't changed, but we just want to make sure we are lined up with the law." That's what Rob said. Now, if you think for 5 seconds, that just doesn't make any sense. Like you're doing preemptive stuff for what? For a thing that's not a law. Like it's not even. There's no law involved. That's a long process. So it seems weird to me. But at the end of the day, you have to remember something. It's bad PR, so you have to address bad PR. But also, the commissioner's office, like by trade, a lot of those gentlemen are they're lawyers that specialize in labor disputes, and they chose to work for the corporations with the power. They chose that. So at what point can you not be surprised with how things are, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to think like, what? You went to college, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna work for the companies. Like, I don't know. It's just that there's only a few motives that could bring you there, which then informs how things are handled. So I'm just gonna leave it there. But again, I would love to have these open conversations with those people so that I could stop being so like, really? And just be like, oh, I didn't know that. It was nice to know that part. I'm willing to say I was wrong. I would love to be wrong. Oh. Complying in advance, exactly, and that's not That's not an endearing thing for me. But anyway, I didn't. That was just an example of like how things are handled and how it shouldn't be surprising. How do we fix Jordan Montgomery this year? Monty changed what he did last year. He was like throwing away more cutters and really struggling to get his curveball over. I hope he goes back to old version of him. I don't think Strom is his pitching coach anymore, so maybe that had something to do with it. But maybe a big spring training, full spring training will help him out a little bit. I mean, you're just asking for some quality innings, right? We're not asking for him to be a stud. We knew he wasn't a stud when he was signed. He's just a good, solid, but he hasn't been solid. So how do you fix him? He's just got to figure out his arsenal a little bit and throw strikes. Oh, there's another one. You and Dallas Braden for a special A's game telecast? I would do anything Dallas Braden asked me to do. Dallas Braden says, hey, I need you to do this thing. I need you to go punch this guy in the face. I'm in. I'll do. He's my man. That's my guy. Dallas he's a dude. He's that dude. I love that man. He's awesome. So I would anything. I would do anything. Jamin Cancer, I'm not going to put it up on. I will. Do you think the progressive, and thank you for saying progressive and eligible. Appreciate that. The Progressive Party is the minority in Major League Baseball. Yes, it is. Which is funny because usually that's what unions are, and everyone's in a union. I don't know. It's a weird. It's an interesting dynamic, and there's interesting conversations happening. It is a very interesting crossroads of like people with lots of money, but also they're in a union, but also, but also they like play with a very diverse group of people, but also, but would they come from it's culture shock, big time, but it's all like good. It's weird. It's like none of it matters there, which is nice. Do you think there'll be a lockout? I don't know if there'll be a lockout. There might be a lockout. There might be a strike, but I think there will be a pause probably for a little bit. All right. Did I miss another one, Dave? I think you posted on when I missed it. What pitch makes a pitcher cooler? This is very important. What pitch makes a pitcher cooler? It doesn't matter the pitch. It matters what you name it. Ooh, that's a good one. Could you summarize how game planning for a starting pitcher usually works? Like what kind of input is everyone giving? Okay, starting pitchers. Ooh, I love this. Okay. This is going to be kind of my last long answer. Here's how a starting pitcher prepares for a major league start or at least some version of this, okay? Through the day, you sit down with your catcher and you guys go over scouting reports and your pitching coach is there as well. Now, you might have your own scouting reports. You might have just a scouting report the manager brings. Depends on where you are in your career. Or pitching coach brings. So it could be something from the team. It could be something you wrote yourself. It could be a combination of the two. For younger guys, like when I was young and starting, Kurt Suzuki just ran that thing. As I got older, I would participate more in the pitchers meeting. But basically, you prepare pregame by watching video. You have I think this guy might do this thing. You go check on that stuff using video. But for me, what I would do is I took my scouting report that I designed myself, and then I would take it. I had a template, like a worksheet where I would translate the stuff that I cared about into each hitter over here. So it was kind of like what doing note cards is in school. So you retain the information. So I remembered it when they came up, and then I have that stuff with me out in the bullpen. Starting pitchers, though, they have to kind of have this plan. They have like their theme, so they break it down like this team does this thing well. They like to run this thing and this. So how these guys score runs, you want to have your overarching thoughts, and then you want to look at your pockets of hitters and have an idea of how you can get them out and what your defaults are to get them out. It's a lot, but when the catcher's on the same page as you, he can help you out. So it's just a conversation. And then once you feel good about where you're at, you then try to just rest until you pitch, which you're nervous and whatever. So it's a lot of just trying to retain information. Like you're studying for a test. Really. And the more natural that can feel, the more naturally you are employing some of the stuff you're doing, the better it is. And that's what figuring it out means. Do you like this as a new possible rule? I want to hit this one real quick. You like this as a new possible rule? Hear me out. If a guy on second can reach home in the time it takes to catch a pop fly in the outfield, the run should count. Could make him some interesting pinch run situations. I would like to see how close that is, though. You know what I mean? Like if it's always pretty close, then it'd be worth it. But if like the hitter's always safe, that would not be worth it. You know what I mean? Like if the time, if flight time and home to second to third, like if the data shows that those two numbers are pretty close on average, then maybe it's interesting. I think it's funny. This hour of Trevor spewing anything on his mind is one of my top moments. Hey, thank you. Thank you. So that's what we do for the second hour. We did our Nastiest pitches of the week. We did all our questions. We're going to write our email next week. We're going to be phasing a lot of that stuff in. But how we do it is the first hour is scripted, second hour is unscripted. That's kind of how I run the show. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Guys, follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere. I put all this stuff everywhere. Go sub to the podcast because they're very helpful to get the word out that the show is up. And next week we will definitely be writing that email to Dick Monfort. Join the Discord if you haven't. SMH Sport Discord in both chats. It should give you the list or the link to get there. And yeah. Was there a moment where you felt like you first belonged to the MLB level? Punching out the side. It's at end of September, Chicago White Sox. Look it up. That's when I knew. All right, guys. I have an absolute pounding migraine of a headache, but I just want to say thank you for being here. Thanks for checking out the show. Once again, zero-time All-Star mugs. There will be other designs coming in soon, but these are now available on Mayday.shop. That is Mayday.shop. I hope you thought all that was interesting. Yeah, some really good questions today. If you have questions and you forgot to ask them on the show, like, man, I should ask Trevor that. Go into the Discord, put them in questions for Trevor, and I'll put them up on the show. We'll just hit them next week. All right, guys. You have Shaylars. Thank you so much for the for grabbing them up. I appreciate that, guys. That is the show. I will see you next week. Enjoy opening day. Also, Rates and Barrels is going to be live from San Francisco Thursday and Friday of this week. I actually don't know if there's a broadcast, so if you're in the San Francisco area, come on through. Couldn't tell you where it is. Look it up. Anyway, drink your water, watch your baseball, and as always, I'll see you next Monday for Mayday here on the Trevor May Baseball channel, and I'm Trevor May on Twitch. Okay, bye.